Next up, we have Champion Cynthia battle music from the Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. If you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel. Subscribe to the channel, whatever term you're using. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications. Consider doing one of them paid memberships. Support the channel further with that. I am looking into getting members-only content, like non-video game music. Still in the setting up stages of that, but there's that. Two disclaimers. Number one, this is my first time hearing this track, so I will be pausing a lot. I will be pausing as I will be pointing things out as I hear them. And number two, this is recorded live on stream on a single take, so I might stumble upon my words here and there, and stuff might happen that happens live on a single take. I messed up my shoulder, so that might distract me here or there. It's healing, like, no cast or anything, but, just keep that in mind. With that being said, let's do this. Champion Cynthia battle music. Let's go. Let's see what you got. Okay, so in good Pokemon fashion, we go through two very, very fast ideas. And when it comes to these, it makes sense that the ideas aren't entirely related, because usually you want the start of the thing. Oh, I forgot. You want the little intro bit that you have to be the transition scene between the overworld and the actual fight. So you actually want that set up. So it makes sense why it would be slower and now it's sped up. So that intro makes sense. Musically speaking, it is a risk, of course, to do something like that, because once again, when you're making music, you're doing one of two things. You are either keeping things familiar, or you are introducing new material. And there's a bit difficult balance to be had there. If you keep things too familiar, you risk boring the listener, tune out. And if you bring too many new things at the same time, you risk overwhelming the listener, tunes out. How did I hurt my shoulder? I have no idea. I think I did it in my sleep. So yes, I'll get into detail about that after the video. So yes, we now have the actual start of the track, which in Pokemon fashion, it's pretty good. Pretty common for them to have the kick drum and the bass doing the thing, because that's just how they do it a lot. So hope it heals quickly, me too. So let's see. Okay, so we have several elements. We have the bass, of course. We have the kick drum. We have the drums doing its thing. We have that stinger on the higher synth, and then on the right ear, we're having a polyrhythm going on. Polyrhythms are a very fascinating phenomenon in music. When it comes to music, you have rhythm. Rhythm, it usually is reflected in the form of a time signature for the purposes of writing. So let's go through that real quick, right? So time signature, it's two numbers, upper number, lower number. This is going to dictate how many notes in your measure or bar. And the measure of bar is just however long the subdivision of time you want to put. Upper number is the number of notes. Lower number is the type of notes. In English, it's super easy to keep up. Whole note is 1, half note is 2, quarter note is 4, eighth note is 8. Imagine I wrote that properly. So on and so forth. So in this case, 4/4 is 4 quarter notes. So if you play on the beat, you are just counting the individual ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be a regular rhythm, and you can do whatever beats you want with that. However, a polyrhythm is what happens when you introduce two rhythms that would be conflictive with one another, and you play them at the same time, so that you get that sound of one against the other. So the easiest one to do is 3 versus 2. So you would have one track doing 3 notes per bar, or per beat, or whatever, and the other one doing 2, and both of them happen at the same time, and they are all proportionate. So in this case, doing 2 So 1, 2, 1, 2. And in the same time, the other one is going to do 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So when you play them together, let me swap them around. So I do 3 on this finger, 2 on the other. So when you have it both together, you end up with a polyrhythm because they're both against each other. So you end up with a sound like that. And that's what we're having between everything that is happening, and the drums, the synths, the bass and everything, and a synth on the right ear. It's not just a syncopation, which syncopation is when you play against the expected rhythm. And polyrhythms usually are a form of syncopation, end up with some form of syncopation because of, the conflictive nature of the multiple rhythms being played. But I think it's a polyrhythm. Let's see where this goes. We introduce the motif, which is the smallest version of our musical idea, the seed from which everything else comes from. Very cool motif, though. Very, very cool motif. Very chromatic in the sense. Chromatic is just when you put the notes that are in between other notes in the musical scale that don't belong to the scale that you're using, but you're using them kind of like a transitionary way when you don't want to go all the way in between the notes kind of thing. It's like smaller steps kind of thing. Let's see. This goes. And we're panning the synth with the main motif. Clever. So panning, once again, the concept of stereo, right? So panning is we live in a world with stereo speakers as a standard, left ear, right ear, because human beings have a left ear and a right ear, overwhelmingly. And then you have the listener here. You are all happy, deformed, bald, therefore evil. And panning is simply prioritizing one speaker over another. And you do that by lowering or raising the volume of each individual track in each speaker. So if you have a guitar track at 100% volume on the left ear and at 0% volume in the right ear, it's going to sound like it's coming from the left ear. And that's just how it is. Sophia, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the mosh pit. And you have this. Welcome to today. How you doing? And you have this going on. And right now, interestingly enough, it sounds like we have 2 synths doing this motif, one on the right side, one on the left side, but when the right one kind of stops playing or slows down, the one on the left starts, giving us this sense of call and response. Call and response is, as it sounds, one music does one thing, the other one responds right after. And it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting that that's what we're choosing to do. There are a lot of very unusual elements about this track going on right now, and it's pretty good. The stream's going fantastic. Thank you. Let's see where this goes. I like that this way of building tension for this is by inverting the motif. So, an inversion, when it comes to motific development, you can do many things. And in this case, we're doing an inversion. So the main motif is going downwards. And what have we done here to make it add more tension? We have flipped it vertically, and now it's inverted. So instead of it going down, it goes up. And that's all we needed to do to make it just do the things. By the way, we're not taking any more song requests today, so keep that in mind. Alright, new part. Interesting. New stuff. New stuff. Like, we got new material here. And no, thank you, Sophia. And it's kind of like an elongated version of the motif. Not elongated, but like there's more space between, because while the main motif was notes very, very close together to each other in the scale, now we've allowed them to go a little bit higher than that. Yeah, next time, next full stream is going to be on Monday. We're going to be taking requests. This is the last one of the day before we switch over to gaming. So yeah, let's see where this goes. And no, thank you so much. Okay, so the synth that was doing the polyrhythm earlier is now the rhythm here. So that was one way of foreshadowing. That was just foreshadowing altogether. Clever. Clever. Clever, clever, clever. So it was hidden at the start. It was, you know, it was just on the right ear. Now it's front and center. I like it. Let's see where this goes. Obed, Psychotic, welcome to the day. How y'all doing? And welcome to the day. And now we're still doing variations of the motif, but we're doing like one note is elongated, then it continues, and one note is elongated, that means it's longer, and that kind of thing is really cool. It's wild. It's wild. Again, Pokemon music is very, like, whenever it's battle music, it's extremely, extremely hectic and very fast-paced. So it's interesting to see that just play out and stay so much in place. What's up? Oh, wait. Let's see where it goes. So yeah, we had a moment of stingers over there to establish kind of a transition. Fairly normal to do for transitions to kind of help reset. A stinger is, you know, something that happens. It stings, it's very sharp, it's very in your face, and it usually does just one and done kind of thing, and it's good for transitions. Let's see, because now we got back to the bass and the drums. Let's see where it goes. We did some panning there. We changed completely now, and here we went off the ramp. Colloquial term. Colloquial means there's no academic term, or I'm not using it for the purposes of illustrating my point. And we had this term of going off the ramp as a way of transitioning between sections, which, once again, when you're making music, you're doing one of two things. You're building tension, or you are resolving that tension. That moment in between, we call a cadence. So, a good way of creating tension and a cadence in a way that makes the listener feel suspended up in the air, you go off the ramp, take away the drums. Just take away the drums, maybe the bass too, continue everything else, now you're off the ramp. Great transition. And we got the polyrhythm. Why do I listen to the music whenever doing Geometry Dash instead of watching the level with the song in it? Because the visuals would distract me. I'm not there to watch the level, I'm there to listen to the music. Yeah, it would be distracting. So, yeah, that's why. Let's see. We do a recapitulation, bring back to the start. Tundra, welcome to the mosh pit. Thank you for the follow, welcome today. Yep, recapitulation. So structurally speaking, we had that bit of an intro there, the like transition between the overworld and the battle music. Then we did section A, which was, of course, the main motif. We did section B, which was less than that, the inverted motif, all that good stuff. Now we're back to A. When it comes to Pokemon music, especially some of these older ones, we usually see the A-B kind of thing. It's just a simple binary, and it just loops over and over and over until the battle is done, and then the victory sound cuts in. Usually because of the limitations of the games. So there's that. Let's see where this goes. So this is pretty much beat by beat. Same thing. Got a transition. Let's see. The levels might also want to use the whole song in Geometry Dash. True. Oh no! New part. That was a variation. So that's A prime, now B prime. So yeah, we had a variation there. So instead of it being A, we call this A prime. A prime just means there's a variation. Now we're in B prime because there's a couple of changes there. There was a couple of extra bits here and there with the synths. And there was a little bit of extra here. Like, there were a couple of extra adornments going on. And very nice. Very nice. So it's not a full-on repeat. It's not a full recapitulation. There is a difference in between these two. Good. Good. Let's see where it goes. Because it's almost over. We're doing the raising the tension with those polyrhythms. Yep. Back to the bass we go. And now we have, yeah, we have that very, very loud pedal tone kind of just interrupting everything. So yeah, there are variations between the start of the level, like the first half and the second half, which is pretty good. That's pretty good. I like it. I like it because then you're not just repeating the same exact thing over and over. I like it. I like it. And these are mainly in the background, like a couple of extra bits and pieces added here and there, a lot of stingers. So creatively done in a way so that you can say it's different, even though the rest of it has stayed mostly the same. Let's see how you went this though. It's probably gonna fade out. Yeah, because that's back to A. That's back to A. Yeah, there you go. There you go. It fades out because most likely this is programmed in the game to just repeat. So after we reach B prime, it just goes back to A. And it just keeps going and going and going until the fight is over. Makes sense. Especially for something like Pokemon. Especially during these times. So for this kind of thing, the fade out doesn't exist in the track itself. The fade out is here in the YouTube video because the YouTube had to end at some point. So in this term, it is acceptable enough. I personally don't like fade outs, but in this case, it is an inevitable aspect because, you know, the YouTube video couldn't make an ending that isn't there, right? So yeah, with that being said, there you go. There you go. That was Champion Cynthia battle theme music from the Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum soundtracks. That was actually good. That was actually good. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and I hope I have explained things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically, or what has happened here musically. If you want to listen to this in full without me interrupting every 2 seconds, link in the description. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, follow the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Consider dropping a membership. Support the channel, what we do here. And, of course, if you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, links to the Discord is going to be down below. Go to the LFA requests channel and follow the instructions on the pinned comment. And if you want to catch these streams live when they happen, links to the Twitch and the Discord, they both have the stream schedule in them, showing the stream starting points, starting times in your local time zone. So consider that as well. And yeah, there you go. There you go. That was Champion Cynthia battle music from the Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum soundtrack. That was good. That was very hectic. Very hectic, but there you go. That's just Pokemon battle music. Good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, let's move on. Let's move on.